Hey everybody, Doug Rucker here with DougRuckerStore.com and DougRuckerSchool.com, located right here in Houston, Texas area. We're up north in Porter, Texas, right off of Loop 494 near North Park 59 in that area. If you're ever in the area, please stop in, say hello. Would love to meet you and just chat. Hey, I'm going to talk about downstream injecting, how to go from your bleach to your water when you want to rinse, coming up next. Okay, guys, so most of y'all probably know that when you're using a downstream injector, the old way we used to do it and the way you can still do it is with the nozzles that normally will come with a machine, which would be, the black nozzle, red nozzle, yellow nozzle. There's also a white nozzle, and some even have a green nozzle. And so the way we would downstream and switch from our bleach to our water is we would use the black tip. That's the chemical tip. You see how large the hole is on that. So what happens is when you put this nozzle on, it will lower the PSI of the machine, so it creates the Venturi effect inside the injector, and will pull up your bleach mix from your bucket, inject it into your line. That's why it's called a downstream injector. Two reasons: it's on the downside of the pump, so no chemicals going through the pump, and it's an injector, so it's injecting the chemical into the line and sending it down. So again, you make sure, we've discussed this before in other videos, that your downstream injector, when you're hooking it up to your machine, you make sure you get your fittings on properly. There's an arrow here that points the direction that the flow of the chemical will go. So you always want to make sure that that arrow is pointing that way when you put on your fittings. Or if you order it from us, it'll say plug out, socket out, whatever. That's what that's indicating, is the direction that you need the chemical to go through, is either go through the plug down to your gun or go through the socket or coupler, whatever you want to call it, down to the gun. So anyway, we would use this to put on our gun, and then when we do that, it drops the PSI of the machine by about 300 PSI or so, and that makes the injector work and pull the bleach out of your bucket. And so when we wanted to rinse, we would use a yellow tip, we'd use a green tip, we'd use the white tip that you see over here on the handle, or you could use the red tip. But if you use the red tip, you got to stay off the surface because that's really high pressure. Okay, so those three nozzles, the yellow, red, and the white, raise that PS level back up, which stops the injector from working. So the question I get a lot of time is, how do you stop the flow of bleach to go to rinse using like maybe the same nozzle? Say you want to rinse with this nozzle. So a couple different ways. You can have a bucket of bleach here. You're spraying bleach. You want to rinse with this nozzle under low pressure. You would simply have a bucket full of water, and you can walk over and you can drop your siphon tube in there. Now, when you put this on, it's going to take 30 seconds, 45 seconds, depends on how long your hose is. It's going to take that long for the bleach to get out of your line and clear water to start coming so that you can rinse. Okay, so a lot of guys ask about the J-rods. How do I stop the flow of the bleach? So the J-rods came along with the 4 nozzles many years ago. And so these nozzles are basically, this is your low chemical or low soap nozzle, which it's called. This is your high soap nozzle. So you see these two holes, those are bigger. So those are going to drop the PSI of the machine by 300. so that you can pull chemical through your hose just like the black nozzle. All right. So if you want to rinse with these two nozzles, what you can do is, just like I said, walk over, take your bleach siphon tube out of your bleach bucket, throw it into a separate bucket of water, and then you can rinse with these same two nozzles. So this is a high soap nozzle is what it's called. So you can reach 2 to 3 stories depending on the gallon per minute of your machine. This is the low soap nozzle, which is just like the black nozzle. So you can rinse low or you can apply low. It's just depending on what you're drawing out of your bucket. So if you're drawing bleach out of your bucket and using these two nozzles, and you want to use these same two nozzles to rinse with, you just simply have to stop the flow of the bleach. And so you do that by taking your bucket or your siphon and put it over into your water bucket. Okay. Now these two nozzles, this is just like the 0 degree nozzle, which is this red tip. Okay. That will stop the flow of the bleach. However, like I said before, it's high pressure, so rarely anybody ever uses this nozzle for rinsing. This is great for raking the yard, blowing debris off a driveway or a parking lot. We've used it sometimes to hit 2 or 3 story gutters, but we're using the mist at the end. We're staying off of it. We're not using it, not using the full pressure, so we're staying off the surface. Okay, and this is the low rinse nozzle, which is great for cleaning brick, for stucco. It's low pressure, has a nice little angle to it, but it's not high pressure like the yellow, the green, or the white nozzle. So these three are predominantly the main nozzles that you would use when you're cleaning. This one and this one, if you have your hose in the bucket, okay, of bleach, when you put these two nozzles on, these raise the PSI back up just like your yellow or green or white nozzle, and will cut the flow of the bleach mix off. Okay, but if you're wanting to rinse with a lot of volume, then you want to use this nozzle to apply up high, and you want to rinse up high, walk over to your bucket, take it out, set it into the water, and then you can rinse with it because it's just drawing water out of the bucket. Now, let me show you another way that you can stop the flow of the bleach using a bypass injector. Hey guys, don't forget, coming up October 7th, which is just a few days when you see this video, is the paver sealing and training with Deco products. Stephen Venturini with Deco will be here. We'll be doing some live on-site training right out here in the parking lot. So go to pressurewashingschool.com/events and get signed up for that. Again, that's coming up just in a few days. Lunch will be provided. We start about 8 in the morning and finish about noon. Also, that following Monday and Tuesday, October 9th and 10th, is my next hands-on training. So if you want to attend that, that's right there at pressurewashingschoolevents.com. And then in November, we have the Difference Maker School. So that's coming up. November, I think it's 2nd and 3rd, something like that. Jeff Blackman, Vaughn Cross, myself. We're talking about the business side of your business, by the way. This is not for cleaning. This is for how to get commercial sales. This is how money matters. We're talking with a CPA. We got a property manager coming in, talking about how to get property manager work, commercial work, that kind of stuff. All kinds of business end of the stuff. So you want to make sure that you get here for that. And then also Jeffrey Blackman, it's on Pressure Washing School /events, has a striping event, striping training coming up. I think it's October 24th, something like that, but it's on the website too. So if you want to add striping, parking lot striping to your business, man, there ain't nobody better than Jeff Blackman to learn it from. So check that out as well. Lots of training opportunities coming up. So be sure to check those out on pressurewashingschool.com/events. Okay, so here's a bypass downstream injector right here. It's got the ball valve up top. And so right now, this is set so that if I'm using this nozzle, which is the high nozzle, high soap, and I call it high rinse as well because you can rinse with just water or bleach. So when this is set like this, with the valve pointing the direction of the water flow, you're only drawing water, okay? Now, if I want to rinse with this same nozzle, not rinse, but if I want to apply bleach with this same nozzle, I walk back over, I turn that ball valve down. Now the ball valve is shut off and the water is going to go down past the injector, which is right here, and pull the bleach out of my bucket or my tank, whatever you've got it plumbed to. Okay. Same thing with this nozzle. That's the low. So I'm applying bleach. Now I want to rinse with this nozzle. So I walk back to my machine. I turn this ball valve to the bypass. So now it's bypassing the injector. The water's not going to go down. It's going to come straight across, and you can rinse with this nozzle. Okay? So most guys are wanting to know about 2 and 3 stories, how I change my bleach to my water so I can rinse high. So if you're going to apply 2, 3 stories high, you're going to turn the ball valve down so the water comes out and goes down to the injector. It'll pick up the bleach, send it on down, and I can apply my bleach mix with this nozzle. Now it's time to rinse. I walk back, I lay my gun down on the ground, walk back over to the machine, simply turn this ball valve, walk back to my gun, pick it up, use the same nozzle, and start rinsing. Okay? It's pretty simple, pretty easy. This nozzle here, again, it can be either way, but I always use this nozzle with a bypass injector, and it's going to be open so I get full flow. So the bypass injector, what it does versus just a regular downstream injector that I had a little bit ago, this bypass, it's basically doing what it says. It's bypassing the ejector so no water is going down towards the injector, and it restores the full flow and the full pressure back to your machine. So it's a great way if you've been downstreaming a house and it's been down like this and you're turning it back and forth. So apply and then rinse. And then you want to use your surface cleaner to clean the driveway. You can simply turn this like that, and it's not going down towards the injector, and your surface cleaner is going to perform much better. If you're using the other method where I had just the injector and not the bypass, and you go to want to clean the driveway, it might be a good idea to take the injector out off the hose here and just hook this directly up to the machine, and then you'll get your full flow and pressure for cleaning the driveway. It just really kind of depends on a driveway. It's kind of it's negligible difference in the pressure and flow, but it is noticeable. And for really dirty concrete, you want every bit of the flow and the pressure that you can get. Okay. So I hope that has been helpful. Just like I said before, I had a few guys asking about how I can switch from my bleach mix to rinse. And so that's basically how you do it. So you guys that are in the business, this is for you. If you're a homeowner and you're trying to do it yourself and you've got the little Home Depot, Lowe's machines, this type of equipment's not going to work on your machine. We mainly basically sell to guys that are in the business, and especially to those guys. I love helping guys that are trying to start a business to support their families, feed their families. So if you're a homeowner, stick with the Home Depot, Lowe's products. Nothing we have is going to help those machines. We mainly work with 4-gallon per minute belt drive machines like this and above. So my advice is just call a guy in your area, somebody that's got the proper insurance, somebody that's got some experience, and have them come out and take care of the cleaning for you. Help your community out and help the self-employed out and the business owners and all of that kind of stuff. So anyway, hope this has helped you guys that are in the business. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Y'all have an awesome, blessed weekend.